Welcome to the sixth and final edition of Filmtalks from Kulturhuset in Tromsø and the Tromsø International Film Festival 2014. My name is Tor Joachim Haga. I am from the Norwegian film website Montages. And my guest today, on our last day, is the director Hüseyin Tabak. Welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, I'm a bit curious about your impression of the festival, of Tromsø Film Festival.
Well, first of all, I'm very happy to be here, and I didn't expect it like this because Tromsø is actually not like a big city, like I don't know where other festivals are taking part. But I'm surprised that almost all the movies are sold out, and the people want to see movies. They really want to see movies. Yeah. I just want to have some tickets for tomorrow and for today. It's very hard to get them,
Yeah, exactly.
And I like the whole organization, especially the screenings with the kids. It's really fantastic that you raise the kids up watching good movies, not only the junk which is coming from the US.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's a very good thing here.
Now, maybe some of the audience is already familiar with you, but maybe you, in your own words, can say something about your background and who you are.
Yeah, well, I'm born in Germany, and I started with making movies when I was 22. I made like short films with family members and friends, and then I started working at film sets. Like I worked on over 20 long feature film sets. Started as driver, making coffee and stuff, and then I got a director's assistant in 3 years. And then I joined the Vienna Film Academy, and I learned directing and writing screenplay at Michael Haneke for 6 years, and I finished film school 2012.
Right.
So, and I made, I think, in 11 years of film, I made over 15 short films and now 3 long feature.
Yeah, because this film that you have at the festival, which is called Your Beauty is Worth Nothing.
Yeah.
Is sometimes credited as your first feature film.
Yeah.
But you have actually done a few feature films before.
Well, I did one long documentary, and I did the same year I did Your Beauty is Worth Nothing. I made another movie for children.
Yeah.
So because between the last day of shooting of Your Beauty is Worth Nothing and the first day of shooting The Horse on the Balcony was like 5 weeks. So.
Wow. Wow.
You don't know really which one is first, but the first international premiere had Your Beauty is Worth Nothing, so it's statistically my first movie.
Yeah, and maybe you also, in your own words, can say something about this film, Your Beauty is Worth Nothing.
Well,
if you
it's good. I'm here because it's going to be shown tomorrow again. So if you didn't see it yet, it's a movie about a boy who's 12 and coming to Austria. And he doesn't know the language, and it's very hard to, when you come to a new country, and there are a lot of hard family conflicts. But he fell in love with a girl in the class, so he wants to recite a poem, a Turkish poem in German, in front of the class to impress that girl. And the name of the poem is Your Beauty is Worth Nothing. Well, the second sentence of the poem is, well, it says, Your beauty is worth nothing. It weren't my love for you, you know. And then he starts to learn German to recite the poem. But he's always living in, he always dreaming being together with that girl. But the hard reality, his family life and the circumstances he's living in, like there's a danger of being deported. It always taking him back to like the real hard life. But he kind of fights his own way, to make his dream true and have his love. Exactly. It's actually a love story, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are political elements in the film, but it seems to be more in the background, like the situation for the Kurds in Turkey and so on. And
yeah. Well, I'm Kurdish from Germany, and the movie, the boy is half Kurdish, half Turkish. And that's why the family conflict comes from. The father have been a guerrilla fighter in the Turkish mountains, and his elder brother, he's like rebels against his father and runs away from home and dealing drugs and stuff. And there's a lot of things he has to handle. But the movie is told from his eyes. And he's 12. He's innocent.
Exactly.
He just loves his mother, his father, and that's how he sees them. He doesn't judge. Really. No. Yet. But the older brother, he's 18. He's judging already. He's giving his father the fault being somewhere else, like in Austria. But he wants to stay in Turkey, but he can't anymore because he have been a guerrilla fighter. Exactly. So. Yeah.
And we seem to enter the story in the beginning just as the family is falling a bit apart. So it's a very crucial moment. And from there on, sort of the story goes into different directions. Is that right?
Yeah, totally. It's but like I said, it's told from the eyes of the kid. So we just hear and see what he's seeing. It's I don't know. The kid is in every single second in the movie. There's nothing without him. It was like the concept of the movie. I was talking with my professor Haneke a lot about that, and he always told me, Mr. Tabak, if you want to do really from his eyes, you have to stay in his eyes all the way. And I said, but I want to show the mother working. No, you have to stay in his eyes all the way. And we did that, and I'm very thankful for that advice of him.
It's interesting, of course, one is very curious if there is elements of Haneke in your films, but actually when I saw the film, I even got some associations to Steven Spielberg. Especially, perhaps you think it's strange, but the trouble with communication, they have to sometimes communicate through without language.
Well, you're totally right. I'm grown up with Hollywood movies. Like, I didn't know. I knew Haneke and I don't know the other famous European filmmaker when I was in the film academy. I was 25. Until that age, I was watching the movies, I don't know, like starting with E.T. and such movies like that, like Blockbuster. And I'm kind of a remix, because I love European cinema now. I love watching it, but I still love the movies I was watching when I was a child and teenager. So I think my movies are like kind of a remix of, I don't know.
The best of European and American, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. And the best of Kurdish cinema,
exactly.
Kurdish cinema, yeah.
Turkish. There is actually, I'm not going to spoil anything if you haven't seen it, but there is a beautiful moment between the father and the son.
Oh, yeah.
And and that's where I get sort of the Spielberg melodrama, how you sort of do that so well. How was it like working with this kid to sort of get this genuine emotions from him in a way?
Well, my second long feature was with a kid too, and everybody's asking me, it's hard to work with kids for them, but for me it's actually not that hard if you take kids serious and their opinion and you listen to them, then you can make really good stories on the screen. But the problem is to pick the right one for that role, and that's the hard part, to decide who's going to be that person. If you pick the right one, it's like fluently. It has a totally flow. So we've been casting 800 kids for that role, and he was from the beginning the best. But I really wanted to know if he's really going to stay, because it was a student film. We didn't have any money, we didn't have any budget. We shot that movie in 18 days, and I have to say it wasn't right what we did, but we shot with that kid like sometimes more than 12 hours.
Wow.
And I'm very sorry for that. And he got from all our awards he got a lot of money because I was so sorry using him. That's right. We made a big mistake, but we had to do it. And he stayed at my place, my apartment, because he has younger sisters, and he didn't want to, disturb them when he wakes up early and stuff. And I told the mother, he's staying with me 3 weeks, then you get him back. And yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah, but he really carries the film. Really,
like I said, every single second. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I was wondering, is there anything of your own personal background in the story? Is there anything that you used in a way?
Yeah, like I was like him when I was 12.
Okay. Yeah.
Daydreaming, you know. My first love I had, I didn't even dare to hold her hands. You know, it was so far away, and even I was together with her, I didn't even hold her hands for 1 second. I was like sitting next to her, and I was happy she was there. And yeah, it's like it's my character. When I was 12, it's easy for me to write. Exactly. For sure. But like I didn't have the political background because I'm born in Germany, so I knew the language. I've been in school, and you know, I never had the feeling I'm not part of Germany. The people never gave me that feeling. No. And when I moved to Austria, because Austria is very different in that thing. First time in my life, I knew I'm German because they treat people different, immigrants. You feel from their eyes when they look at you. You're somebody else. You're not like them sitting in the subway or something. It's like that, you know. You get that feeling from the people, from the most of the people. And but in Germany, it's not like that. So I felt to make a movie for Austria like that, so they can see how it feels to be new somewhere else, where you don't know the language, and it wasn't your decision to come as a kid. From one day to another, your parents say, "Okay, we go now," and you can't say, "I'm staying here." No, you can't say that.
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice, actually. No. And like I said, the older brother is like revolts against that. He rebels against that. But you know, just to a certain time, you know, then.
Well, it seems to me that the brother and the young boy, they deal with the problems in their different ways. I mean, this young boy, he likes to daydream. You know, he creates this, and then you create this sort of very beautiful dream world. What was the decision behind that sort of choice to sort of break up the style with these segments along the way?
Well, for me, the most times before I start writing the screenplay, I almost have the first scene and the last scene in my head. Otherwise, I don't start. And I had that idea for this boy for 1.5 years, and then one night I said, now I can do it, and I was writing for 3 nights without sleeping. You know, I was like, wow. Maybe 1 or 2 hours. I don't know. I don't really remember what happened those 3 days. I know just I had a first draft of the screenplay, and then we started producing it. And for me, it was important that the audience starts in his head. Yeah. The movie starts with a daydream, and for me, it was important that they are in his head, and it's kind of ends with that too. So I want the audience to be like the boy from the beginning, without any questions. Yeah. And I think it was a good way to influence the audience.
Yeah, especially the way you use red as a color. You know, the red, a red rose, a red shirt, all this fashionate.
It's nice that you have it still in your head because they're like little things, but that's what I hope, and the people see that this image stays in your mind. It's for me very important, the little things, you know.
Exactly. Could you say something about, of course, the film has already been shown a couple of times during the festival. I think the last screening is tomorrow. Yeah, and I will be there because there's no flight from to Vienna tomorrow, so I fly back on Monday. Okay. I have to be here. Well, it's okay. I always watch the movie again with the audience, and I have to take. I watched it on Friday. Yeah. At 9, it was not really sold out, but Martha was watching it too, and I felt that electrician in the audience. I couldn't go out, and I love to watch my movie with the new audience because it's for me. It's like I'm seeing it again, you know, because I feel the emotions the people are having next to me. So when I was on stage, Martha, I don't know if she's here or not. She wanted to ask me a question, but before she
could ask, she started crying, and I had to cry too, and
yeah.
and everybody was crying. Nobody asked me a question.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it was like I was telling about this movie, and
Okay.
yeah.
So, but what, do you have any plans now after this film? Are you working on something?
Well, if you ask a director if you have any plans, and he says no, he's not the director. So I have a lot of screenplays writing now, but you don't never know, like in Europe, when is the movie going to be produced because of the money. But the one which is produced for sure, it's a documentary about Yilmaz Güney. It's a famous Kurdish filmmaker from Turkey who have been in prison for several years and who made movies from prison. So I'm making a documentary about his life and his movies, yeah. And the next feature film I'm making is about gypsies.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And thank you for having a few words.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you very much.
That was the last edition of Film Talks. I hope you enjoyed these programs, and hopefully we will be back for the Tromsø International Film Festival 2015. Thank you to the audience, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.